Hello people, how you doing? I'm just going to put a mic in, my earphones in first. How you doing? No mask. Morning, evening. Like I said, I'm going to put my earphones in, so it's going to sound a wee bit different. I need to hit the settings. See the audio settings, iPad microphone. Hello, testing. Right, I think I'm live, people. I think I'm live. How you all doing? It's good to see you all. I kind of missed you today. I missed you today, guys. I was at a location where it was just impossible to get a stream. Good to see you, Motor and Epic and No Mask. I just thought I'd have a random stream. I was going to have one last night because I felt like having one, but then you didn't feel like having one. We can't hear you. Let's see. Hello? Hello? Ah, you can. You must hear me, man. I can see the thing moving. Anyway, guys, as you know, I've hit 40-year-old. And that's why I've called this Milestanes. Like milestones. Yeah, milestones. And at 40-year-old, I suppose the best thing I've accomplished is having a living family. I think that's the best thing I've got right now. Apart from a job, a house, all these sort of material things, I think the best thing I've got right now in my life is my family. And that's what I'm grateful for, really, is my family. And my freedom. I'm grateful for my freedom. Because as you see, guys, I've got a lot of freedom. Like, I move around everywhere. I do it as a job. I travel as a job. But I do it as a hobby as well. And I've been attracted to this place down the borders lately, guys. The borders. The Scottish borders. I think it is God's country down there, like, definitely. And the devil's country as well. There's loads of devil's mentions down there. The devil's clue. I think it's a devil's clue. There's lots of sort of devil stuff down there. There's lots of Arthurian stuff down there, guys. Down the Scottish borders, it's all like King Arthur stuff. In the area I was recently, old Merlin, the wizard, was meant to have been killed. I might just get a beer myself, actually. I was going to head back to bed. Suppose I might as well crack a beer open. You've got to crack a beer open. I'm going to crack a beer open too. Let's see. What have we got? Must have something. Shit. Fuck. Just knocked the bin over, Jed, like an idiot. What have we got? Aha. We've got a beer. There's a couple of Coronas in the back there. What else is there? What's that? Ugh. White. What's that? White Christinas. No, I think I'll dodge that one. I think I'll just have the Moretti. Yeah, a wee barra, a wee beer of Moretti. What are these? Well, this is a tip for a job. What is this? Can I see the writing? How you doing, Tabar? Nice to see you, mate. 4.6. Piss water. Shit. Right, anyway, how you doing, guys? Salute, chat. Aye, I'm actually quite happy. See, I've now hit a milestone on my channel. I've hit 2,000 subs, guys, and it's took me ages. I probably lost just as many. I've probably lost about 2,000 subs as well. So, it's another benchmark I've reached, I suppose, but it's not important. It doesn't matter if I've got 1,000 subs or 2,000 subs. The views are kind of the same. It doesn't make a difference. And like I said, guys, I like it small. I like keeping it small. Oh shit! I like keeping this community that we've got, guys. Like I like seeing all these familiar faces. I need to shut this door. Fuck! I'm such a klutz tonight, guys. Dropping shit all over the place and walking into bins. Oh fuck! How you doing, Barbara? How you doing? Nice to see you. For a change, you're early. You've been sort of popping in later on. Aye, but 40, guys. 40, eh? Fucking, where does time go? Where does time go? And before you realise how fast life is, it's too late. It's too late to do fucking anything about it. You've kind of burned your bridges. You've kind of made your bed. You kind of have to fucking lie in it now. Do you know what I mean? There's a certain age you get to, and there's just no turning back now. You know what I mean? All your opportunities, you've kind of squandered them, most of them. I suppose there'll be a few more opportunities in your life, but I suppose when you get to 40, it's kind of said and done. It's all downhill after 25. Aye, getting old, man, getting old. Crazy. 40, well, 40, the thing is, 40 must be young to older. Like my granny's like 87, and she's like, "You didn't look 40, son. You didn't look. You still look like a teenager." I was like, "Fuck! What do they see? And your perception, like your perception, is weird because I can remember being younger, and my pal's dad being 40. I remember going to my pal's dad's 40th party, and I remember thinking he was an old bastard. This old 40-year-old. Try to be young and drinking and doing shit with us, and like he's an old man. And then now I'm 40, I feel like fuck's sake, man. I'm still young. I'm still young, man. I still feel young. It's brutal. I still feel. I've got to admit, like physically, at my work, because my work, I've got a hard graft. I lift stuff for a living. You know what I mean? I'll go up and down flights of fucking stairs for hours on end. Shit like that. So physically I'm noticing a difference, definitely. Recovery is a big thing. When you get older, like in the morning when you fucking try to get out of bed, you're kind of just fucking rolling out your bed, throwing yourself out. But all the shit that's been happening on the news lately, the Ukraine stuff is still fucking bubbling away in the background, and fucking there's shit happening in China apparently. Apparently there's protests in China over COVID. But some people are saying it's a factory protest, so there's mixed stories coming out. So apparently this is meant to be good shit. This Birra Moretti stuff. I got given 6 cans of it on a job as a tip, and I dropped them, and I think 2 survived. The other 4 fucking just exploded and sprayed away. And I think I gave one away, so I was left with 1. And this stuff as well, this Twitter, Elon Musk, guys. If anyone still believes Elon Musk is some kind of fucking world genius that's going to save the world, he's a fucking muppet. He's the biggest idiot, con man, to walk this earth, man. Imagine buying Twitter for 40 billion. 40 billion when it was worth 10 or something like that. One idiot. Elon Musk is an absolute fucking idiot. And his cars, the bullshit exploding pieces of shit. Elon is a devil. Tiger Bear Monkey Man says they are still having lockdowns and all the madness. They're still fucking doing shit in China. Like they've got places locked in there. I think our governments are kind of looking towards China and admiring them in a way. Again, I think our governments admire the way China can just control their people so fucking easily with an app. The Chinese have got a QR code, and if it comes up red, that's it. They're fucking locked up. And I think that's what they want to give us. They're giving us text messages. It's fucking the same thing. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another fucking... I don't even want to say it. I don't want to jinx us, guys. God. So how yous all been anyway? In my chat, what yous all been up to? Are you still punching your punch bag motor? And playing your keyboard? We used to drink with a 47-year-old wizard type of guy. Just felt like a couple of years ago. That was 2005. Now I'm at his age. Oh, no, it's crazy, it's crazy. And my son's 13, and he, like, just watching him grow up, it's so cool. You can actually watch him growing up on YouTube. Like, you can see my son when he done his first stream when he was 6 or 7. He's like got this wee squeaky voice, yeah. He's playing his fucking Minecraft or something with his pal. I used to watch him. I used to keep an eye on him. Make sure there's no creeps fucking try to get on his game. I've never been a Twitter guy either. Never understood Twitter. Like, I got the whole Facebook thing. I kind of got that. And once you had Facebook, like, you didn't get Twitter. Well, I didn't understand Twitter. I was like, what am I meant to do with Twitter? Am I meant to use it like Facebook? Am I meant to friend people on it? And then fucking, what's going on? Oh, you're meant to just sit there and listen to people ramble shit and follow them. All right. Fuck that. I'm not a follower, man. I'm not a fucking follower. Like, this whole following shit. Nah. Fuck that. So Tapar says, I had to retire the Ergo keyboard you saw. With another one. Aye. Your Star Trek keyboard. It's like split in two and that, and it's fucking got a ball in the middle and shit, so you can put your alien hand on it and fucking activate your monitors, your 10 monitors. But it's good you've got a new keyboard, man. That's good stuff. So Motor saying the COVID people got my real name somehow sending me texts at now time did I submit a real name. Barbara says, when money fails, give them a pandemic. Just give them fucking any dramatic situation, eh? It's not a pandemic. You can give them anything. An economic crash, a fucking war. Give them anything just to make people shit their pants and comply. You know what I mean? It just keeps happening over and over and over. It's the same fucking characters. And see, when you look at this British government, man, you wouldn't trust fucking one of them near your kids, would you? Fuck. These politicians, man, look at every one of these cunts. Would you trust any of them near your kids? No. Would you fuck? They look evil, man. They look, Ken, when you just get that fucking feeling of fucking people. I get that feeling of fucking nearly oily government cunts when I look at them. So Tapar says, I ditched Facebook a long time ago. Now everyone getting a YouTube wall. For some reason, Facebook with me, I can't get into it. I think Apple have blocked it or some shit like that because I never downloaded the Facebook app because it's just annoying. I deleted the app off my phone. So how I used to go on Facebook was I used to just go through the desktop on my phone, just like I was using my computer. That way I wouldn't have to use Messenger. I wouldn't have to use Messenger because my phone would think I'm on my computer, so it would just let me send messages without using the app Messenger. So that's what I thought, because there's two apps, Messenger and Facebook, and it runs memory on your phone, and I was like, fuck this stuff, man. I don't want all this shit on my phone. So I used to go on Facebook through like the search engine and just go through like the desktop and go into messages. But now it's not letting me do that. It's blocking me for some reason. So maybe I have to accept some kind of fucking terms and conditions. I could have done something with the money he bought. I'm sure fucking you could have saved a few countries. You could have saved a few million people with that fucking money, man. Jesus. 40 billion. The guy is an idiot. And because he knows it, the thing is, he threatened to buy Twitter. And the idiot doesn't understand like certain laws. Like he had to buy. He was forced to buy Twitter because they said he was going to buy them. Because when you're a guy like Elon Musk and you say these things, you could say certain things and make the stocks go up and down. And you could influence stock prices. Get what I mean, by saying certain things. Look at that woman that fucking she got a verification tick on Twitter. I don't think it was a woman, but some user put up a post and it cost a company like fucking millions because it was a fake post. It was a fake verification tick. Remember the Tesla in space? Oh my god, that's so fucking fake. That's the thing. See, when Elon Musk gets rumbled with this whole fucking Twitter and Tesla, when he gets rumbled with Twitter and Tesla, SpaceX is going to come fucking right after, man. And all these fucking fanboys. You can tell all these people in SpaceX are just Elon Musk fanboys, man. They're fucking disgusting. Ugh. So Barbara says, well, let's hope his child with Herd is a bit more clever. Oh, he's got about 10 kids, that fucking Elon Musk. I'm sure he's got about 8 kids or something. They're called like alien names. I'm sure they've got numbers in their fucking names and stuff. So guys, I went on a wee trek today down the borders and I found some cool ring forts. I found an old burial kist as well, like dated like 2000 BC. I've recorded it on my GoPro, so I'm going to upload a video showing what I found, but it was cool, man. And this is what I've been doing lately, guys. I've been looking on Google Earth, like going on Google Earth, looking for strange landmarks, going around the area and looking for weird landmarks. I usually go near burns or hills or churches or stuff like that. If there's churches or hills or rivers or burns in the area, there's a good chance there's going to be like an ancient settlement fucking somewhere or ruins or something like that. These are the little sort of things I look out for. And I just zoom in and I scour fucking Google Earth and I just look for all the little strange landmarks. And what I do it on maps as well. Can maps on your phone? Maps on your phone is just as good as Google Earth. If you hit the satellite on maps, you can get the what you call them? The coordinates. If you go into maps, you can go into the coordinate. You can get the coordinates from maps, and you can put in Google Earth, and fucking it takes you right there. So I've been looking at maps and Google Earth at the same time. So Epic says that how when you know it's real, how fake it is. What was it? He says, you know it's real because it looks fake. For sure, I do the same here, looking for Indian settlements and what have you. I've been finding local stuff with the LiDAR maps. It's very revealing too. Yeah, and the good thing about these, especially like Google Earth and stuff like that, it's like low orbit satellite imagery. It's like strips of satellite, strips of high altitude imagery. I'll not even call it satellite, right? Google Earth is strips of high altitude imagery. It could be a fucking plane taking the pictures for all we know. I'm very skeptical about a satellite being able to fucking zoom right down into your garden and see your fucking shed. You know what I mean? So I think Google Earth probably had a low Earth, maybe a plane or some shit flying around taking photographs. And the good thing about these satellite images is they don't discriminate. You know what I mean? They don't discriminate. But I do think that Google Earth sometimes put these fucking clouds to hide shit. There's certain landmarks I've seen. I've tried to like zoom in, and it's like fucking a big cloud, and I can't even fucking see. I'm like, try to get around it. There's this big cloud in the way, big CG cloud. So Cleveland Modified Motor says the planet's officially broken. We don't get summer this year. All we get is crazy one season of rain and wind and cold with a couple of days sun. I was thinking, guys, see in the past, there could have been a supernova, kind of like an exploding star, away, millions of light years away. See if you have a supernova millions of light years away, that can create earthquakes and shit on Earth. That can create all different kinds of different shit on Earth happening. It doesn't have to be too far away for an exploding star. And I wouldn't be surprised if these stories in the Bible are like the fucking this bright star in the sky and stuff like that. This could have been like a supernova, because I think they last for like a wee while, and I think they're in the sky for a wee while. So it's a good maybe this supernova exploding could have caused the earthquakes and fucking floods and shit like that. Like all the disaster stories that you hear. So Epic is saying, what reader are you using for the LiDAR maps? No mask. There's another cool thing to look at. The old maps. Scotland, the National Libraries of Scotland, I've got fucking, I think they've got all Britain's maps, including England and Wales and shit like that. Like, I think the library in Scotland's got fucking biggest map collection. Anyway, once you find this fucking, if you find that interesting thing on Google Earth, go and check it up on old maps as well. Go and try and find an old map of the area. And if it's still there, if that landmark is still there after like a couple of 100 years of old maps, you might be onto something. You know what I mean? So this is what I've been doing, guys. I'm sick of visiting sites, ancient historic sites that everybody knows, everybody goes to. I've got fucking Chinese tourists fucking in my way taking photographs when I'm trying to do a live stream and shit. And I want to go to historic places that fucking they're almost hidden, forgotten about, and need rediscovered. Or even if they don't need rediscovered, they need recorded at least. You know what I mean? And before they're totally destroyed by the farmers can plough and shit up. And see the farmers planting these fucking trees on these ancient sites, man. They're fucking arseholes. These farmers all around fucking, these landowners all around fucking Scotland planting their fucking, these artificial plantations. They just plant them on fucking mounds and ancient fucking sites. They just want to destroy everything. They didn't give a fuck. Hey, Susie Cat, how you doing? Nice to see you. Investigation film today. It was pretty cool to find that old. I found like an old. Well, it was like an old tomb. What do you call them? Oh, my mind's gone blank, guys. Sorry. Oh, an old burial chamber thing. A fucking. It's on the tip of my tongue. But it's that whatever that building was that I found, that's been built on a fucking much more ancient site. That big mound, that big fucking mound with a wee building in the middle of it. You know what I mean? A mausoleum. Thanks, no mask. I probably said it fucking when I was doing my stream. And look what I found, a mausoleum. But it is like midnight now, and I'm having a smoke and a wee drink, and I'm getting that sort of fucking void in the brain. But I've definitely been enjoying my trips lately, guys, and I've been enjoying your company. It's the same people I see, and do you know what? It's good to see the same people, the familiar sort of, I don't know what to say, a community, but that's what it becomes when there's more than one person or two people in a fucking chat. It becomes a community, yeah, I suppose. And I suppose I like it, man. It's good. I'm about to pour a finger of some Highland whiskey. I've got whiskey in the cupboard as well, but I need to stay away from that shit because I'm known for drinking like bottles of whiskey on live streams. Whole bottle, well, nearly whole bottles. Half a bottle. Half a litre bottle. Well, nearly a full litre bottle one night. Any of you guys remember? None of you guys will probably remember the night that I drank I probably left about that much. And they bought me a bottle of whiskey. That was some night. I was in my kitchen fucking shadowboxing my enemies on YouTube. Oh god, everybody loved it too. Everybody was fucking finding it hilarious. The walks. My son says, I asked my son, I said to my son, what's the best thing about my channel? Is it my videos? Is it my live streams? Like my walks? Is it my panels I have here, like my wee chats I have with people? And my son said a mix. He says, but it's mostly the live streams and the walks. Because I think my walks are pretty unique. I can't find many other people on YouTube doing the same style. Fair enough, there's lots of people doing sort of exploration videos and stuff like that, but looking for like the old hidden historic sites, you know, abandoned buildings, spooky abandoned buildings and all that, these historic sites. And I think what's his name? Ross Broadstock, he was doing that shit as well. But because of his physical fitness, he couldn't really go far. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking people for hours through forests, up hills, fucking live. And how many YouTubers are doing that live, like taking people up hills and through forests and shit, man? It's awesome. And bumping into things along the way, like just fucking bumping into like distressed sheep, or fucking a sheep that's needing rescued, or a fucking bird that's stuck in a cage or some shit like that. Like it's all these crazy wee nuances along the way. Was that the find Dutch since did a video about Susie? Did you hear about the big discovery in Idaho? Ancient mounds, cardinal points with huge animal mounds. Amazing find. No, I've heard about ancient mounds being discovered in America. Giants and stuff like that, but I'm not too sure. I've not seen much to do with it, to be honest. I've just heard stuff. But surely America's got old ancient fucking sites, man. Definitely. There's been people in America for fucking millennia, and like fucking 10,000 years at least. So there's got to be fucking some kind of structures or something there. You know what I mean, I don't believe in the whole Tartaria stuff, like that they were building like fucking Romanesque buildings before fucking Europeans arrived. How can you have that style of building? How can you have Romanesque style buildings? The architecture is Romanesque. If the Europeans never built them. Like this bullshit about all these buildings already being in America before the Europeans got there. When the style, the architectural style is the Europeans. It's like fucking, it's like saying teepees. These teepees we discovered, the Indians never made them. I mean, it's fucking stupid. The reason why they tore down a lot of these big buildings, these big massive fucking buildings in America, is because they were just too big. They were needing too much maintenance. They needed rewiring. When electricity came along, they needed whole fucking rewiring and shit like that. They just weren't efficient, these buildings. They were just too much. Just fucking knocked them down. I'm their land. They used to find them in those mounds. I found all the old documentations of the original digs. What institute was it again that fucking done these digs in America? Was it the Smithsonian? I'm sure it's the Smithsonian Institute that done a lot of these fucking digs and They've got a lot of finds of the ancient type in America. Right, guys, does anybody want to come up for a chat? I don't know, Ken. Or will I just sit here rambling to myself? I'm easy about it. Like, you know me, guys. I can fucking ramble for like a good hour or two. But if anyone's got anything they want to express, I can throw the link out. How you doing, Syntho Labo? Nice to see you, buddy. This is my bedtime audio. I remember Validation Boy said that about me, that his missus listens to me to go to sleep. Oh, God. Is that why everybody's here? They're all tucked up in their beds listening to my voice. Or I'll know when the text stops moving in the chat that you're all sleeping. I'll sing you a wee lullaby. Once the chat stops moving, I'll sing a lullaby. Oh, God. So, how many out there are 40 and over? I think most people in my chat are over 40. Syntho Labo, I think you could be just maybe I think you're about the same age as me, yeah? Maybe just under. Maybe 30, I'm guessing 38, maybe. $40. The same age, man. The same age. I don't think I've got anyone younger than me in my chat anyway. At least I'm still the youngest here. Who was the guy that got seriously pissed up on your live and fell through his blinds? That was hilarious but concerning. Was that Vlad? Vlad. That's when he fucking... What did he down again? He downed like a... Was it Zambuca? No, tequila. He was drinking... I think it was tequila he was drinking. And he fucking dared to drink like... I think it was like 3/4 of a bottle. And I said, go ahead. And he started doing it. And I'm 38 for 3 days. Epic. Oh, bummer, man. Someone younger than me. I feel old now. You just made me feel old. Thanks. I just fucking got some grey there thinking about it. But 40, man, like 40, I wouldn't say I feel the same as when I was 20, but I can't be far off feeling like I'm still like 30. It's crazy. And see, when you get to this age, guys, you can see through everybody's shit. You can see through everybody's fucking shit because you've seen it all before. See, when you get to this age, you become quite cynical. Well, I've become quite cynical because I've realised that most people are full of shit. And you get to an age where you can just see through it. Get what I mean? All this crap on the news, all this shit on the media, all these wars, all this fucking economic fuck. We've seen it all before, guys. We've seen it all before. And we're still here. You're not even at your prime yet, you had to wait another 10 years. I fucking passed my prime. I know my prime because I felt strong, my strongest and healthiest probably about 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, I probably felt at my peak. And it's been a wee bit of decline. Do you know what? Since I caught that fucking Chinese flu, it's been a bit of fucking... I've never really properly felt healthy. I've got to say, since I had COVID, I've never felt fully fucking fit. Exactly. You start young and idealistic, and then you get hip to the routines. I'm glad I'm a skeptic. It's good to be a skeptic. You can't be a skeptic about everything, though. It's just things that... are nice to not know. You know what I mean? I found that with the flat Earth, can argue with people with the flat Earth. Can flat Earth, man, as much as it's a fucking it's such a stupid and abstract idea. And at the same time, it's not, because that's what people would have thought back in the fucking day, and that's the natural way people would have probably thought the Earth would have been. But nowadays, knowing what we know, the maths, the trigonometry, the boats coming over the horizon, all this shit, man, it seems such an abstract an idea now, the flat Earth. And to me, I've always said it, flat Earth is almost like a social fuck you to science. It's like punk. It's like what punk was to pop music. Flat Earth is what punk was to pop music, but I suppose punk became successful. Flat Earth never really became successful. But it was almost like a rebellion against science. It was like a rebellion against fucking science, Flat Earth. It was a rebellion against all these NASA freaks, all these moon landing people. I mean, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool at first. It wasn't cool to tell people like that you were mingling with Flat Earth. You know what I mean? But it was a cool sort of community. There was loads of expressive and artistic people within the Flat Earth, I've got to say. Out of all the communities I've seen, the Flat Earth has got to be the most artistic set of people, because they can think sort of abstract. The music that was in the Flat Earth, some of the music. See, Issa with guitar, man. I fucking love that shit. Issa Mahalski. He got a Flat Earth tattoo. Issa Mahalski got a Flat Earth tattoo. He was deep into it. He still is, I think. As with everything, the toxicity came eventually. Yep. It did, man. That's what happens in groups. I'm no keen on groups, guys. I don't like the whole group think, the whole herd mentality. I like this. I like us kind of assembling and having a wee discussion now and again. But when it goes as far as groups, I think when you create discords and people are there every day, that's when this tribal mindset starts to kick in. People get territorial. People get jealous over like other people, stuff like that. It's fucking weird. I just cut off the Discord. I was like, fuck Discord, man. Anything that creates a toxic group environment, I'm fucking out of there. Discord was one of them. Flat Earth eventually became that, a toxic sort of fucking environment with fucking pedos and everything fucking hanging about. Honestly, I chased out pedos out of the Flat Earth. There was pedos using the Flat Earth as a sort of fucking way to get other pedos together. They were fucking sending each other signs and shit. And I was rumbling onto them. It was Andrea Cenci, this guy called Andrea Cenci, or Senchi, or whatever the fuck he was called. But he would have these weird streams, man, and I'd go ballistic. And eventually disappeared. And I could have been, you could say I was being a bit of a snowflake, but if you seen what I had seen, nah, I wasn't being a fucking snowflake. They were putting up, it must have been a pre-recording of a wee laddie pulling his pants down in front of the camera. I was watching a Flat Earth discussion. I was listening to a Flat Earth debate with Jem Panda, Tim Osman, fucking all these different people on Andrea Cenci's fucking channel. And some fucker comes up, some little kid pulls his pants down on the fucking stream, live on the stream, a little boy. I went fucking ballistic. I was like, who the fuck? Oh, I just started spamming the fucking chat. I started going ballistic. I started sending Andrea Cenci messages that were sending fucking YouTube fucking footage. I didn't have it recorded. Did I fuck? Who would want to record that? But I was threatening with that shit anyway. I was fucking, get that shit off, get your channel off the fucking YouTube, get to fuck. I was going rage at the guy. And we're still not sure who Andrea Chenchi was in the flat earth. There's a few theories about who he was. A lot of people said it was Eric Dubé. A lot of people said that Andrea Chenchi was Eric Dubé. What about that, guys? Aye, that goes way back. That's like fucking 6-7 years ago. So this is fucking way back. So I don't know if any of you can even remember any of that shit. I think most people are born good. You have to learn how to be selfish and bad mostly. Well, I think it's not that you're born good. I think it's within your interests to be good to people because you get good back. Being kind is a selfish thing sometimes. Giving is sometimes a selfish thing because sometimes you know you're going to receive. But it's a social kind. It's a way that you sort of bond as a community. Get what I mean? So I think it's within our nature to cooperate and be good to each other, to exist further. Fighting all the time, that's going to lower your chances of survival. If the human race was in their instinct to kill each other all the time, they would be extinct by now. They'd be extinct by now. It doesn't make fucking sense. People aren't meant to be bad, evil, killing each other because it's not within their fucking interest as a human race to go forward, to survive, like any other creature out there. Fair enough, creatures are going to fight with each other for territory, one-on-one. Two males banging heads, whatever. But when you've got whole nations, whole millions of people killing another million people from the same human race, where do you see that in nature? It's not natural to do that shit. I mean, it's natural for us to cooperate and be decent to each other. Because you know if you fuck someone over, there's a good chance you'll get fucked over. That's how the universe works, you know what I mean? I'm sure the ancient people worked that shit out as well. You're born agreeable. Well, you're kind of born gullible. You're right. You're born agreeable or you're born gullible. Because you have to be gullible to a certain state. Like, if you're in danger, if some giant predator jumped out on you like a fucking lion or a big fucking bear, rah, are you going to fucking slither and... I wonder if that's real. You're going to just fucking run. You're just going to agree you're in danger. Again, there's sometimes logic doesn't come into the equation. It's just instincts. I mean, and human instincts is to fucking survive. That's one of the fucking most strongest human instinct. Apart from like fucking, well, I suppose breathing, eating, to survive. And if our strongest instinct is to survive, why would we want to kill each other? You know what I mean? When we know in the long run it's not beneficial. And that's the way that they've got us fucking programmed. So culture, media, movies, again, like we're supposed to have war. I don't think it was always like this. I think because there's so many of us now. There's just so many of us and so many different. Again, back in ancient times, maybe we were a lot less mixed. Maybe a lot more simpler. I mean, a lot less people as well. We probably valued life a wee bit more. I'm not talking about medieval times because they fucking hung, drawn, quartered and fucking disemboweled people fucking back then. I'm talking about like when the human race was in its early days. Okay, we were probably really looking after each other because it was important to survive. Right, I'll get back to the chat. So Epic thinks most people are born good and agreeable. At what point did conditions exist for a liar to be successful? At what point did conditions exist that allowed a liar to be successful? That's what I'm saying, that nature doesn't really lie. Okay, as human beings, as animals, when we were in our early days, we weren't thinking that things are trying to lie to us or deceive us. Like we were saying before, if something jumped out like a lion or a bear, we're not thinking, is this lying to me? Is this a deception? We know it's fucking real. We know we're in danger and we just run. You know what I mean? It's like, you're right, Epic. When did this come in here? When did we fucking learn to deceive? When did the human race become that way? You know what I mean? Because obviously it's something that we're not born to be like that. Deceptive, lie. Like I said, the truth. I've learned that the truth. You're always better to tell the truth. When you lie, you forget your lies and you fucking trip over, and you're always better to you fucking tell the truth. And you find that the quicker you tell the truth about something, the quicker the shit gets sorted out, and then you can just move on. The more you lie and keep it going and keep it going, it's just fucking. It's always shit in the long run. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I think Epic's right. And we were agreeable, we were honest, we were just like children. Okay, we're just like children. I think early humans were probably like children, and something came along that fucking. I mean, and you could go back to the old Bible and the snake, the Satan. And I'm not going to say it was Eve. It was Eve's fault. She bit the fucking apple. That's why we know deception and lies. Galactic Shaman, glad to see you clean, Jed. Cheers up, bud. Clean. Clean shaven. Is it because I've cut my beard? DNA phobias carried on too. It's protection. There's definitely genetic memory. I fucking believe that, guys. I believe we've all got genetic memory. I think even breathing is almost like a genetic memory. Again, it's like, and I think we carry on memories from our past. Things our ancestors used to do, we've probably still got urges and shit to do those things. It's like genetic memory. If our ancestors have done a certain trade for like maybe 1,000 years, and suddenly we're fucking in a city doing something the opposite, we're going to maybe have this weird urge to fucking go back to doing that thing. And it's funny because you see cases where a father and son will be split. A father and son will be split apart. They'll not know each other. And fucking like the son will get the same occupation and do the same shit that's like the dad done. Like without even knowing. So I do believe in this. There's like a genetic memory with people. And that could come down. That could be with psychopaths as well and mass murderers. You know what I mean, they could be just carrying on a fucking urge, a genetic urge that their ancestors had. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, again, it's funny how we actually we put credit to like diseases being passed down through genetics. Like you can inherit hereditary diseases, but nobody thinks about like hereditary, like memory, like genetic memories or instincts that you have, feelings, urges that you have that maybe are passed down through your ancestors. And this is why, and I think just the fact living in cities, people turn into fucking animals living in these cities, these stacked up fucking boxes. Ben Canchillo. Hello from Tucson, Arizona. I tried my true ancestry and it states ancient lineage is Scottish. Is it a legit site? My true ancestry is not a legitimate site. It's fun. It's a fun site, but if you really want to know your ancestry, I'd get a proper DNA like spit test, or even just go through your records. If you've got a good records office, or fucking go through your records. But I wouldn't put any credence into my true ancestry. It seems to be one of these sort of fucking pay more money to find out more about your ancestry sort of shit. Get what I mean? These conning fucking even ancestry.com. You pay fucking for the tests and everything. You get all the results and you get all these fucking you get updates and you get all these matches and blah blah blah. But you still can't see the records. You have to pay extra money you have to be a member and all this fucking crap. Oh, I'm not even sure if they know that. I think they're pretending they know more about genetic and ancestry than they really do. Because Ancestry.com, I think, only goes back like a couple of 100 years, maybe 300 years. Ancestry.com goes back. And that's probably as far back as the records go, coincidentally. And my theory is that the fucking you spit in a bottle for Ancestry.com. They get the bottle. They go, oh, this bottle proves that he's given us permission to look through his records. Right, let's chuck the bottle in the bin, chuck the spit in the bin, and let's go through all his records, his birth certificates, his death certificates. I think they can go right through your records, see who your mum and dad. So I reckon because Ancestry.com have all the databases, your birth certificates, death certificates, they've got all the fucking records, Ancestry, right? So what Ancestry can do is look at your birth certificate, look at who your mum and dad is, look at their fucking birth certificates, look at who their mums and dads were, look at their birth certificates, look at their, and fucking follow lines and come to our end result and try and look for any foreigners or foreign names in there. Or if they see a foreign name, they're probably throwing a bit of French or fucking whatever. Like, I think Ancestry.com can actually go right back through your records and come to like an ethnicity for you. Not a race, an ethnicity. Which is another thing that people get mixed up with, like racial types. So they'll give you an ethnicity estimate. An ethnicity estimate. And I think it's just through records. I think they can do all that shit through your records. Just looking at surnames and shit like that. So, how you doing, Mick? Nice to see you, man. It's a bit late, 1 a.m. Thought you'd be in your bed. Spiders are Susie's phobia. They seek me out all life. Now I realise they my spirit insect. Well, maybe. I quite like spiders because flies get on my fucking nerves. I hate flies. And spiders are like flies' nemesis, so I kind of like spiders. I pick them up, and there's a few guys at my work that like run. Like, it's always funny to see a full-grown man run away when you've got this little tiny spider in your hand. But that's genetic memory, people. That's genetic memory. The fact that, see, when a full-grown man runs away from you when we chase him with a spider, that's not his fault. It's his instinct. It's like we've got an instinct built in us to run away from spiders, snakes, anything poisonous. Our instinct is to fucking get away from it. Because if we just went around picking these things up back in ancient times, they fucking sting you or poison you. So it's in our instinct to be afraid of these crawly things and fuck. That's why people have got phobias over snakes, spiders, because it's an ancient fucking memory. It's a genetic memory. We weren't meant to go around picking up spiders and snakes and fucking. These things killed you back in the days, so you stayed fucking away from them. You only got to gamble on what one was fucking poisonous and what one wasn't poisonous. So when people are scared of things, it goes back to being fucking genetic memory. So Motor tried to search his ancestry. It's too obscure. It only goes back to England in the 1790s. You can really only go back to like a few hundred years, can I mean? Really. You can maybe trace your surname back. Can a lot of people try and put credence into crests and stuff like that, but families only got gifted like coats of arms if they'd done something. See if the Carmichaels went on a holy crusade and fucking helped the king fucking gain back the Holy Land. Will he be gifted titles and land and shit like that? He would be. No, all the other Carmichaels. The other Carmichaels had to earn their fucking their crests. So only that family was allowed that crest. All the other Carmichaels never. So this is the thing about these coats of arms and stuff like that. Like a lot of people have got misconceptions about them, and it's just a big con again. So you can get your fucking coat of arms on a mug and get your coat of arms on a fucking book and all that shit. It's all just it's all a con. It's like buy a piece of land in Scotland and plant a tree and you'll be a lord. Urgh, fuck off. Aye, and buy a star in the sky and buy a grainy sand on the beach as well while you're at it. Buy a flaky snow in Antarctica. A lot of bullshit, eh? When I first got mine, it gave me like 13 things down to Cameroon, Africa. Now it's half Scottish, half English, and a touch of Scandinavian and Native American. Cleveland Motor says, 8-month itch on my toe. Not that long ago. Watch out for spiders. What, are you talking about a spider bite? Did you get bitten on the toe? I've noticed it changes, Epic. You get updates on Ancestry.com as well, and fucking at one point I was like 80%, 86% Irish, and like fucking 14% Scottish, or like 10% Scottish, and like 3% something Welsh. And now it's changed to like 60% Irish and 40% Scottish. When I first got it, I had it like I wasn't even a full white man. I had like West Asian. When I first done Ancestry, I had fucking West Asia, Caucasus, the Caucasus area, the Caucasus. That's what came up on Ancestry when I first done it. I had the Caucasus area, 3% in the Caucasus. So I was like Georgian or some shit like that. I was like West Asian. I wasn't a full white guy when I first done Ancestry. I was 97% European. I was 3% West Asian when I first done Ancestry.com. And now I'm fucking half Irish, half Scottish. So you tell me that their fucking science is legit. Like I said, what is legit is their records. They can go back quite far in your fucking records, depending on where you lived, I suppose. In Ireland, a lot of the records got burned and shit like that, so you can't go back that far. And records only started really getting taken like in the fucking 19th century. You know what I mean? I think records. Obviously, with the Doomsday Book, they were taking records of people for like taxes, but like proper birth certificates and shit like that, like birth records. That's quite a late thing. Epic LMA, like that Lords and Titles. Fuck's sake. Who wants to be a lord? They're fucking lame. So Motor says, I did find pictures of my ancestors. Though there's lots of resemblance, it's scary. They started documenting taxation after the Norman conquest. Yep, that was the Doomsday Book. That was under, I think it was King John. They started that shit. I wouldn't mind a look at Zuckerberg's DNA results. He come back like Data as his dad. And fucking, who would be his mom? Fucking hell. Data would be his dad. Who would be his mum? Like fucking Barbara Streisand or something. Barbara Streisand would be his mum, and Data would be his dad. It's Zuckerberg. That's what that DNA looks like. I think they're hiding migrations. I do think they're hiding certain migrations, definitely. There's a lot of surprising stuff about migrations. And a lot of people think that black people migrated to America earlier than the slave times. And there might be some truth to that theory. There might be. But there's like a big island close to Africa called Madagascar. If you've heard of it, guys, you've probably heard of Madagascar, the big cartoon, because of the cartoon and everything. Most people have heard of like Madagascar, but it's a big fucking island, and it's really close to Africa. It's fucking huge. And do you know who first populated that island? The Indians. Because for some reason, Africans have got this fear of traveling like over open sea. I don't know if it was against their fucking beliefs or some shit like that, but for some reason, Africans weren't very good at seafaring. This is something that a lot of the other civilizations were kind of ahead, was seafaring. You know what I mean? Like African civilizations and tribes, they were barely really past our Iron Age. Never mind boats sailing fucking to America. I mean, they couldn't even get to Madagascar. So this bullshit about Africans going to America first and having civilizations and all that, and same again, just like the Tartarian stuff. Like it's funny how these Tartarian buildings are European architecture, like Romanesque. Why would the Tartarians build Romanesque style domed buildings and pillars and fucking stuff? So I picked this. The Picts were definitely one of the oldest peoples in Scotland. The Irish, they probably came they came late on. The Irish came quite late on. The Irish didn't come into Britain. Well, the Celts didn't come into Britain until like fucking, I think 2,000 years ago, something like that. Quite late on. The Gaelic people. Because you already had the Brythonic people there, but the Gaelic and the Goylic people, they came in later on. They were actually a later migration. And same in Scotland. The Picts were here first and the Irish came over. So the Scots were the Irish. Whether we destroyed the Picts or combined with them, like mixed with them, maybe killed all the males, maybe took all the females, I don't know. But the Picts were definitely here first in Scotland. And the Scots came over from Ireland into Pictland. But they did have a kingdom called Dalriada, the Irish, and it did cover parts of Scotland. So it wasn't like the Irish never had Scotland before. The Dalriada had parts of Scotland before the Picts as well. There's different tribes all over Britain. Okay, when you got the Strathclyde, you got the Strathclyde tribes, and you got the Western Isles tribes, and you got tribes all over Scotland, man. It just goes on and on. The history of Scotland just goes on and on. It's something that you'll just study forever. When they stumble across Barbara Streisand's remains in 400 years, you just find a big mummified nose. Oh, and the thing that does my head in about history in Scotland, people, is the way people jump on the media's version, the media's and the school's presentation of history for Scottish people, and it's like it's the Stuarts and the Bruces and all this fucking crap, and it's so fake. Scottish history is so fake on the mainstream media. The Outlaw King, Braveheart, and all this stuff. It's all used to fucking muddy the water with our true history. And that goes for the English as well. The English have had their fucking history wiped out, man. See, the fucking Normans wiped the English history out as well. The English people aren't Normans. These fucking Normans are a different kind of people. The English people are still out there fucking... They were conquered first. I think the Scots just put up a bit of resistance to the fucking Normans. Mind you, when I say the Scots put up a bit of resistance, I don't mean fighting. I think when it came to the culture, I think the English were quite quick to absorb a conquering country's like culture, where the Scots were quite resistant to it. Even though we got conquered as well by the Normans, but it seems to be that we resist the culture a wee bit better. Where the English were quite happy to take on the culture. I don't know, guys. It's late at night and I'm starting to ramble. Tarvaris existed for sure. Oh, there was definitely a Celtic genocide, and it's been going on. This Celtic genocide is not just been done by the Romans. This Celtic genocide was done by the Stuarts. The King James wanted ready all Gaelic, anything fucking Gaelic or Scottish or Celtic. The churches, because you had Celtic Christianity in fucking Scotland. You actually had Celtic Christianity in Britain. You actually had Celtic Christianity through Europe. And this Roman pagan, and these cunts absorbed our religion and changed it and fed us it back with the Pope sitting on the fucking top. I mean, that's the frustrating thing about it, is that this whole, when you look at all these places, see, when I go down the borders, there's so many churches. To me, that's the Holy Land. See the Scottish borders down there, man. There's fucking churches everywhere. The little town, there's a little church, and there's graveyards full of people. And there's more dead people than the living. There's more fucking dead than the living when you go down there. Don't tell me that, like, for thousands of years, people haven't lived in these fucking fruitful areas. It's just little farms everywhere. I reckon thousands of people used to stay down the borders, much more than there is now. There's just dead people everywhere. There's more dead than there is living. Down the borders is graves and burial cists and chambers and stones, and it's dead. The only fuckers alive down the borders are the farmers and the landowners. And these are the ancestors of the fuckers of the Norman conquest. These are the Debulbs. And that's who the wolves are meant to be, the Debulbs. So we are. Aye. And the Normans kind of fucked everything up. They did. They fucked our culture up. And the Romans, I'm not too sure about how much influence the Romans had in Britain. I think it's maybe exaggerated how much influence Rome and the Romans had in Britain. Do you know what I find strange about Rome and Romans? When you look at the beginnings of Rome, when they first were established, they were surrounded by other tribes in Italy. Italy wasn't Italy. Italy was different fucking tribes everywhere. And north of Rome were Celtic tribes. Just north, in North Italy. Then you had the Alps, the Celtic Alps. So there's Celts all around fucking Italy when Rome was first being established. And you just wonder that these modern Italians you see today, these black-haired Italians, I don't think they're anything like the Romans that existed back in the day. When you see these death masks and these statues of these Roman fucking Caesars, these Roman emperors, they look nothing like Italians. They look like British politicians. They look like British kings and shit, the way they look. So, being surrounded by all these Celtic tribes. Who's saying the Romans didn't start us off as some kind of Celtic tribe before they started their own Latin? Where did this Latin begin? Well, I suppose when they adopted the Greek. I suppose that's, when you think about it, that's when the Latin stuff came in, when the Greek influence came into Italy. But like I said, Italy, Rome were surrounded by Celtic tribes. They were having wars with Celtic tribes all around them. Rome. In Italy, inside Italy, they were having wars with Celtic tribes. So why was Rome so different from those other tribes? What was it with Rome? I've got a 1500s map with Tartaria on it. Yep, there's definitely places called Tartaria on the maps. This is where the Tartaria theorists try and bring out evidence. And Tartaria was just parts of the old Russia and Mongolia. The old Russia and Mongolia areas. That was Tartaria. But I'm not saying that Tartaria never existed on maps. Sure they did. But that this theory that Tartaria ruled most of the earth and Europeans destroyed everything, and Tartaria fucking had these antiquatic buildings that were fucking harnessing energy out the fucking atmosphere and all this crap. If you go into the Tartarian theories and the mud flood stuff, it starts to get really stupid and silly. You know what I mean? They should know when they should know when to draw the line. But they keep throwing in more shit. It was like the flat earth. The flat earth would just keep throwing in more shit. They just keep digging a deeper hole. And the more shit that the flat earthers said, the more uncredible they were. Heard one of the emperors of Rome conquered the Celtic city and all 50,000 people became slaves. Yep, I'm trying to remember. I think I've just recently watched something about that. And that's why I've still got it fresh in my memory. I can't remember what emperor it was. But aye, there was definitely like a Celtic empire. Can they talk about Tartaria Empire? Do you hear it? Do you hear them talking about the Celtic Empire? Do you hear them talking about the giant buildings that were built 2,000 years ago, or 4,000 years? There's a Brock up in Scotland, and it's like 50 foot tall, and it's made out of fucking stone, and it looks like a giant power station chimney, and it's a building. It's a prehistoric building. It's an Iron Age building. Like fucking 4,000, 3,000 years old, something like that. Well before the Romans came, well before fucking the Vikings came, well before this building is prehistoric. It's thousands of years old. I think it's called the Brock of Mona. It's way up north, and it's like a giant chimney stack, and it's a huge brick building. And they try and make it. We sat in mud huts. We sat in fucking mud huts. And I've been to these Brocks. There's one down in the Borders. They're quite rare, these giant Brocks, because they probably destroyed most of them. But there's still remnants of Brocks, and there's still a fully preserved Brock up north. And this is an ancient, it's the tallest prehistoric building in Britain. And maybe Europe. And do you ever hear about it? Do you ever hear about this brick prehistoric building up in the north of Scotland? Iron Age. Dry stone. Built dry stone. The way they build dry stone walls. You never hear about it. Because they want you to believe that we sat in mud huts with thatched roofs, freezing, wearing kilts, playing the bagpipes. Fuck off with that. No, there was a Celtic empire. There was kings. There was powerful chieftains, and they all had a similar language. They all had a similar culture, and it spread all through Europe. They had similar art styles. Fair enough, the Gauls were different for the Gaels, but they were still the same. They were for the same group of people. I find it interesting the lack of documentation outside of maps. Right, let's see if I can find this Brock. I'll show you it, guys. This prehistoric building, just so you know, I'm not just talking out my arse. Right, is it called Mona? Brock and Mona, maybe. Brock. Right, let's see. What's it called? A Brock. It's called a Brock. Right. Check that out, people. Check that. Brock of Mauser. So us Scots lived in mud huts, even though this is a prehistoric building. Look at the size of it. And that's looking down on it. See that? So us Scots lived in mud huts. And you can see the concentric rings. You can see the rings around it. This was a bigger settlement. This probably had walls around it as well, and ramparts, and this was a huge settlement, and it's made out of stone. You know what I mean? And that's no the only one. There's lots of different blocks. I just can't. That's just evidence to me. And that's what they reckon. That's what they reckon it would have been like. That's a reconstruction. So this is a prehistoric settlement for Scotland. So we lived in mud huts, did we? The Brock, a true Scottish icon that nobody knows about. Kids don't get taught about that shit in school. Amazing. And that's what a cross section, that's a reconstruction of a cross section. Crazy. So I do believe that fucking they're lying about our history. They make out that we were backwards people, barbarians, savages. We never had an alphabet. They never speak of Ogham or Om. It's called Om. It looks like Ogham, but it's Om. But it's a tree alphabet. It's no Gaelic tree alphabet. It's like runic. And they don't even connect it with Gaelic or fucking tell us that this is an alphabet that existed. I never even heard about fucking Om at school. The old ancient fucking tree alphabet. And you can find Om inscriptions all over standing stones and stuff down the edges of them. They said in Sardinia they would go into those and lay prostrate to take in the energy of ancestor kings. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they buried their ancestors within these buildings. Can I know that some civilizations like to bury their ancestors outside But there was a lot of peoples that like to bury their ancestors beside them, or even on top of them. No mask, 1:30 a.m. and I've opened another ale. Damn you, Jet. But I'm still sipping on this fucking wee shitty Moretti. Shitty Moretti. But like I said, I've got nothing against when I'm going about the Normans and stuff like that and the Romans and fucking. I've got nothing against anybody who's got that ancestry. That's all just in the past now. That's all just it. That's like history. What I do have a problem with is the fact that there's so many landowners in Scotland that hog so much land that gets neglected, that doesn't get used. And we have to walk around them. We're supposed to like just walk around these big fucking fields and stuff. And these people, a lot of them, some of them bought the land again, some of them just bought it, but a lot of these people have had this land handed down to them for fucking hundreds of years. And it just, there's no right, they've got no right. The Scottish people only own 11% of their country. 11%. The other fucking 89 fucking percent, whatever it is, fucking, that's landowners. That's private landowners. It's fucking ridiculous. No wonder they give us the right to roam, the freedom to roam, because if we couldn't fucking roam, we couldn't walk anywhere. There's fields everywhere. If we got charged with trespassing, we get charged every fucking time, because every time I jump over a fucking fence. That's why I think the rules are so relaxed in Scotland for like trespassing and stuff, because fucking there's so much land that's owned. If they start fucking complaining, the people will start complaining. They'll get fucking booted out. What happens to ruined castles in Scotland? Sometimes they just lay in ruin. Sometimes they just lay there to fucking waste away. Other times they can be bought over and people recondition them. Other times historic Scotland might take care of one. And sometimes they just get left to rot, depending on where they are. There's some castles that people haven't even discovered yet. Get what I mean? There's castles lying in fucking forests that people haven't even fucking discovered yet. I can guarantee you that. Highlander was one of my favourite movies when I was young. It wasn't one of my favourite movies, I've got to say. I liked the Terminator when I was young. When I was a youngster, I liked the Terminator. That was one of my favourite movies. But when I got older, I started liking like fucking Saving Private Ryan and shit like that. Braveheart. Oh god, I got sucked into the Braveheart stuff. I'm sipping some 12-year-old whiskey in honour of you, Jedrick. Thanks for calling me Jedrick, that very Anglo-Saxon name. Frederick. Or it's definitely got a Germanic flavour to it. I was still at school when Highlander came out. Orkney Stone Circle is older than Stonehenge. Oh, have you seen the village in Orkney? It's not the Stone Circle, it's a fucking village. There's a village in Orkney called Scarabray. Scarabray, and it's like 5,000 years old or some shit. They reckon it's like much older than the pyramids. Much older than the pyramids. And it was discovered under sand dunes. Like over time, sand had blown over this Stone Age village. It's like Iron Age village or Stone Age village, fucking prehistoric village anyway. And there's like walls, there's fireplaces, there's beds, that's unbelievable. Skara Brae. If anybody wants to look up another nice bit of history about ancient Scotland, Skara Brae. I'll find it here. Let's see, Skara Brae. There'll be a nice picture of Skara Brae somewhere. I've got a book over there about Skara Brae as well. It's a bit late for digging for it. There you go, there's Skara Brae. Ancient. Once again, much older than the pyramids, much older than Stonehenge, much older than fucking anything. Much older than anything. It's like the beginnings of fucking human civilization. There we go. I love that they cast Connery as a Spaniard and a Francophone as a Scot. A Francophone as a Scot. Aye, what was his name? Who played the fucking Scottish guy again? What was his fucking name again? Oh, I can't remember. Who played the Highlander guy again? His shitty ponytail. What was his name? Was no Crawford. Lambert. Something Lambert. At least he had a sort of half Scottish name. I'm not many miles from Seahenge. The fuck is Seahenge? Is that a different Stonehenge? It's in the sea. I was obsessed with Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was pretty cool. It used to freak me out though. What Indiana Jones was it? Was it the Temple of Doom? Was it the second one with the fucking Nazis and the fucking guy's face melts and all that? They opened the... What was it they opened? Was that fucking Was it the Ark of the Covenant? I'm sure it was. I didn't even realise when I was a kid watching it that was Ark of the Covenant, but I'm sure it was. I think it was the Ark of the Covenant they opened and fucking they were getting electrified and shit for it. Christopher Lambert. Lol, it does something we do here in the States to our buddies. Gonna travel to Europe in a few years when in Scotland, where to go first. So, if I was to recommend anywhere to go first in Scotland, that's a hard. I would probably say Edinburgh. I'd probably say come to Edinburgh, the capital. It's a very, very nice city. Very nice medieval city. Wasn't really hit by any of the bombs during the war, so we've got some of the most complete medieval like streets and shit like in Europe. Because we weren't hit with fucking really anything. I'm sure Hitler liked Edinburgh, so we never really got hit with much. Gandalf went there to visit the hobbits. But I would go to Edinburgh, and then I'd probably go to St Andrews afterwards, up to St Andrews, and I'd probably go along the Fife coastline, up to St Andrews from Edinburgh. So I would start in Edinburgh, and I would go up the Fife coastline, up to St Andrews, and just have lots of little stops along the way. There, you'll see so many things. You'll see like fucking between Edinburgh and St Andrews, you'll probably see about 20 castles on your route. But you need to go the tourist route. Like the scenic route, should we call it? It's not a direct route to St Andrews. There's like a coastal road along the Fife coastline, and I think that's one of the most beautiful during the summer. It is one of the most beautiful places. Right now, I'm down the borders, and it's amazing. But you need to walk. If you want to see some nice views, you need to walk some bloody hills. I mean, it's a hard slog down the borders. It's lots of marshlands. It's wet, lots of hills. But if you're coming over here as a tourist, I'd go to Edinburgh first. I'd probably make my way up to St Andrews, and then probably head over the west coast. Up north west, up to the islands, the Western Isles, over to Oban, Skye, those islands over there. That would be my recommendation. So it'd be like a 7 So you'd start in Edinburgh, you'd go over the first to fourth, over the Forth Road Bridge, or the fourth crossing, as it's called now, up along the Fife coastline to St Andrews, and then straight over Perth. Like go through Perth and fucking right up the western coast. You see all these beautiful islands. Right, guys, I've been going for 1 hour and 35 minutes on my own. Again, just talking in the chat. I've got to say, I do appreciate you guys, man. Like, I wouldn't do all this shit I do like without you guys in the chat. Like, no masking. Epic, man. Like, you're a new guy to the whole community, man. You're a good, valued person, and I appreciate you, man. You had good comments in the chat. And see, when I do my live streams, guys, when I'm out doing my live streams and I can't read every comment. So when I go home and the live stream's been uploaded, I'll sit and I'll just go through the live. I've not watched the video. I'll just like skip forward the video and just go through the live chat, reading all the comments. And I just notice everybody getting along, everybody having a laugh, and it's such a good vibe in my chat. Okay, when I'm doing my shit, I'm walking along the fields, and it's just a good combination. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be the same without you guys in the chat. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate you. I just want to take the opportunity, like fucking thank you all. Hank Hill, how you doing, man? Good to see you. We were just talking about the flat Earth earlier, and that's where I met Hank Hill, this dude, and he does sound like Hank Hill. He talks like that, like slow southern. It fucking really sounds like him. Glencoe in the rain is stunning. The water pouring off the mountains. A lot of these places are stunning, like scenic, but they're like barren wastelands, and like these mountains. And there's hardly a tree in the area. It's just like rocks, all the leftover rocks that the glaciers left behind when they melted. And you've got these big locks that are the remains of glaciers. They're just melted glaciers. That's how the whole Loch Ness monster theory is bullshit, because Loch Ness is only like 10,000 years old. It's not been there that long. It's melted. It's part glacier. Like for the last ice age, it melted. So Loch Ness, the water, comes from the glacier that melted like fucking 10,000 years ago. And these animals, these fucking prehistoric animals, were extinct well before that. So there's Nessie busted. I'm sorry. Then they make me start on Santa Claus next. But it is cool. I've drove through Glencoe with the mountain, like through the mountains with the waterfalls. There's fucking like many waterfalls coming off the mountains, and that's amazing. I've actually got a video. A waterfall up that way at Glencoe. What was the? It was called Alt something. The waterfall was called Alt something, but I got it at the right time because there just had been a heavy rainfall, so it was fast moving. Coastal road, take me home to a place where I belong. The coastal routes are good, man. It's not like driving along the coast and you've got the sea on one side and you've got like maybe just greenery on the other side. You've got blue on one side and green on the other side, and it's just, I love that shit. I live for that stuff. See when I'm driving along, I just get blown away sometimes just with the sky and the sunsets and stuff like that. I feel like just stopping the car and taking a photograph and just fucking, I just get blown away with my own. That's where my pride comes from, with my country. It doesn't come with fucking flags and fucking national anthems. It comes with just being grateful I live in such a beautiful place. That's what it comes with. I'm just grateful. I'm proud that I come from such an amazing place. And I like to share it with everyone. You know what I mean? No. Here, I'm not an inspiration, but I do hope I inspire some people to get out there. You know what I mean? But people that can't get out there, I hope they sit there and watch this shit. Get what I mean? And enjoy it. Walked the West Highland Way. Rannoch Moor is savagely barren and desolate. Yup, a lot of these places are. Beautiful on one hand, like sometimes the desert, and you see pictures of the desert on the telly, and it can look beautiful with the sand dunes, and these wavy sand dunes and the blue sky, but you wouldn't want to fucking be there. You wouldn't want to be there. You wouldn't want to try and live there. Try and survive in these places. You'll fucking not see an animal or fuck all for miles. And any animal that does see you, they're very skittish up the highlands, and deers and fucking eagles and very distant animals. There's lots of wildlife, but it's hard to see them. I mean, they stay very far away from you. It's not like they come wandering up to you. So no dino, huh? No, there's no dinosaur up in Loch Ness. I'm sorry, guys, if you believed in that. But you can go haggis hunting. That is true. You can go and hunt a haggis down Selkirk. There's a place down Selkirk where you can shoot haggis. All different colours as well. Oh, it's Tom Corner, and he's coming in late. The old Tommy boy. How you doing, mate? I've not seen you stream for a while. Not even a wee work video about the trails in the sky. You're usually complaining about the trails in the sky, man. You must get up early, Tom, man, because I'm sure like the sun hasn't even risen in the summertime when you're taking videos. It's like 5 in the morning or some shit. Yes, I can't walk as far with this sciatica. What a pain it is. Funny, Susie. I've got sciatica. And you ken what heals my sciatica? Walking. Walking heals my sciatica. After a good walk, my sciatica actually fucking lays off. In fact, I fucking hurt my finger. I banged my knee. I've done loads of shit to myself in the past like few weeks, injured myself. But you know, the one thing that isn't bothering me right now is my sciatica. Because I'm fucking staying out and about and walking about. The worst thing you can do, Susie, for your sciatica is sit around. That's how I got my fucking sciatica. When I was doing my college stuff, I was sitting for hours on end doing animations and doing editing and just sitting on my computer for hours. And you know what? One day I fucking stood up and I was like, oh, I could barely lift my head. I was standing there and I could barely lift my head. And I was like, holy shit, what's happened? And I had to lie down and fucking, oh my God. And after a while, I realised I've got sciatica because the pain went right down my leg from the top of my buttocks, right down my leg, the side of my left leg, went right down the side. And I knew I had sciatica, and it never goes away. Once you've got sciatica, it never goes away. There's not even an operation to help it. The operations are 50-50. They're not even that good. A lot of people that have had the operation for sciatica said it wasn't even helpful. So, once you get the sciatica, the best thing you can do is just keep moving. That's what I found, Susie. So try and get yourself in some kind of like exercise, like it's just sitting around. You don't even have to walk. I just find that I have to walk, but it's the sitting. I think that angle, like where your legs are going up, the way you sit, I think that's bad for sciatica. Sitting. So Epic reckons that haggis hunting sounds like looking for large Scottish ladies at the bar. You're so polite, man. Oh, that's so polite. See, if you were in Scotland, you would say haggis hunting sounds like looking for fat birds at the bar. Nah, man, haggis hunting's fucking real, man. I've done it. I've shot them and ate them on Burns night. Oh, guys, right. lately I've been getting into the Water Boys. I didn't know if you've probably noticed in my videos I play a lot of Water Boys, and fuck, guys, I love the Water Boys right now. Love it, love it. And there's a certain song on one of the albums, and it's called "The Stolen Child," but it's actually an old poem by Yeats. It's like an 1850s poem by the Irish author poet Yeats, W.B. Yeats. The Stolen Child was a poem originally. The Water Boys have made a song from the poem. And man, see when I listen to this poem, this song, and it's the words from the poem. It's definitely about child sacrifice. It's about child sacrifice, but it's doing it in a fairy, weary sort of way that makes it sound, I don't know. It's a fucking creepy arse tune when you listen to it. You listen to it over and over again. It's fucking, and it's talking about a fairy taking away a child. The Stolen Child is about a fairy taking away a child, taking them away into the forest. It's called The Stolen Child. And fairies in Ireland were like fucking vicious, man. They weren't fucking little pretty girls flying about with wings on. The fairies were like shapeshifters or evil. They're fucking, you didn't fuck with fairies back in the day. We've got loads of hills around here that fucking, there's stories about fairies and shit. But The Stolen Child is definitely about handing, sacrificing, gifting a child to the fairies, to nature. And it's creepy. It's almost, the more you listen to it, it's more like it's like you get these images in your mind. It's like a Wicker Man fucking movie when you start fucking thinking about it. Oh, it's fucking creepy. W.B. Yeats, man, he was into, and what they try and say, the meaning of the song is, it's about children losing their innocence. This is what they say the song means. It means, it's about children losing their innocence. It's about when children go into the big bad world and lose their innocence, and it's about their innocence. Is it fuck? That poem and that song is about fucking child sacrifice in the old Celtic days, in the old Celtic times. And almost like the celebration that goes along with it. The frothy bubbles, sharing glances. And then the end where the solemn-eyed child will hear no more of the calves on the warm hillside and stuff like that. Oh, it's creepy, man. It's fucking say peace to his breast and fucking, oh, it's a creepy arse. Do you know what, guys? I'm going to find the lyrics, the poem, the original poem, The Stolen Child by W.B. Yeats. And and you'll hear how it's a song about the old ways, should we say. Stolen Child, W.B. Yeats. There it is there. 1865 to 1930. Well, that's Yeats's, I suppose that's when he lived and died. But it's old. This is written a long time ago. Okay, the Water Boys are fucking, they're just repeating this shit. And I'll read some of this stuff, man. Right, this is A Stolen Child by W.B. Yeats. Where dips the rocky highland of Sleuth Wood in the lake, there lies a leafy island where flapping herons wake the drowsy water rats. There they've hid our fairy vats, full of berries and of reddest stolen cherries. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. So it's like come away with a fairy Come on, child, go with the fairy, because the world's shit anyway. The world's full of misery. The world's full of weeping. You know what I mean, it doesn't matter. Just go away with the fairy. Where the wave of moonlight glosses the dim grey sands with light, far off by furthest Rossies, we foot it all the night. Weaving olden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances, till the moon has taken flight. To and fro we leap. So this is a celebration. This is a dance. We foot it all night, weaving olden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances. This is like a celebration they're having here. Till the moon has taken flight. Again, this is like all night. To and fro we leap and chase the frothy bubbles, which is the alcohol, while the world is full of troubles and anxious in its sleep. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wandering water gushes from the hills above Glencar, and pools among the rushes that scarce could bathe a star, we seek for slumbering trout, and whispering in their ears, give them unquiet dreams, leaning softly out from ferns that drop their tears. Over the young streams, come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Away with us, he's going, the solemn-eyed. So this is, I'm leaving now. Away with us, he's going, the solemn-eyed, the sad-eyed, the little sad kid is going away with the fairy. It's fucking sad. He'll hear no more the lowing of the calves on the warm hillside, or the kettle on the hob sing peace into his breast, or see the brown mice bob round and round the oatmeal chest. For he comes, a human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than he can understand. So it says here, away with us, he's going, the solemn-eyed, he'll hear no more of the lowing of the calves. So they're just saying he'll hear no more of this, you know what I mean, because he's going away. He'll hear no more of the kettle on the hob. Sing peace into his breast, or see the brown mice bob round the oatmeal chest. It's fucking sad. It's a sad fucking, I don't know, weird, creepy arse fucking poem. Leave the children alone. Oh, I wonder if W.B. Yeats was a fucking, mind you, he looks a bit dodgy, yeah? Aye, but if you've not heard the song by the Waterboys, check it out. It's fucking, and listen, like, what's his name? Oh, Michael, is it Michael? The Waterboys guy, man, his organ just makes it sound creepier. The Opium Chest. No, you never heard the Opium Chest. The oatmeal chest. Round and round the oatmeal chest. And this was this reminds me of something that you heard about the Beltane Festival. There's an ancient Celtic festival still celebrated here, like Beltane. Belfast is named after like Bell, the whole Bell thing, and the fire celebration. And they used to eat oatmeal cakes, and the one that was burnt, like certain kids would get oatmeal cakes, and the one that was burnt, the kid that picked the burnt one had to jump over the flames, or something like that. There was a wee ritual with oatmeal cakes and fire and the Beltane Festival. Oatmeal cakes. Mike Scott. Aye, Mike Scott's fucking organ, and it's freaky. Opium chest for me, please. Oh God. Right, anyway, guys, it's 2 a.m. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Sorry I never put the link in the chat. If any, did any still want to have a conversation? Because I'm kind of running out of things to say, but if no, guys, I'm going to hit the sack and say peace upon your breast around the opium chest. Night, guys.